Assignment for a writing class that she took almost 12 years ago in 2010. She wrote this as if her death would happen soon, and it has been revised by her family slightly for accuracy and length. Let's hear Anna's take on her own life. Anna Andrews was born August 16, 1932, on a cattle farm in Rutland, Illinois. Her delightful family, daughters Glenda Smoggy, Beth Smoggy, son-in-law Peter Killian, grandchildren Roseanne and Alex, great-grandchildren Ben, Ivy, and Evan, and many friends, and a couple not so friendly, survive her. Her sisters Joy Wenzel, Mary Lou Andrews, and adopted sister Jean Berry survived their sister, whom they characterized as different. She enjoyed life to the fullest behind a camera lens, traveling to exotic places, preparing and eating ethnic foods, reading in bed, especially biography, and diligently attending garage sales. She furnished her entire home with other people's antiques, textiles, Persian rugs, and paintings by friends. She claimed that store-bought goods had no personality. Ms. Andrews has been an elementary teacher, a director of religious education at the Unitarian Universalist Society, and a committee secretary in the California Senate. She was a busy volunteer in many nonprofit organizations, including Peace Action, UNICEF, and Unitarian Universalist Society fundraisers. She also worked on political campaigns. She appreciated her neighbors and was happy to provide transportation for anyone needing a ride. Ms. Andrews was most proud of an ephemeral textile art show she envisioned and executed with artistic friends. She tried her hand at writing, but her memoirs were mostly self-promoting and full of dubious episodes. She liked recorded music that she accompanied, singing words that she craftily invented, since she never had a good memory. Though in a conversational sense, we might add she was never at a loss for words. Ms. Anna Mae Andrews jokingly stated that her tombstone should say animated. Pun intended. Animated. However, she has been cremated and her ashes serenely and gently dispensed in Sacramento's beautiful American River, which she has navigated a couple of times in an inner tube. Having lived in Illinois, Georgia, and California, and having traveled extensively to Europe, Asia, South America, Canada, and many of the national parks of the United States, she wanted to end it all in a cool, beautiful river of her adopted hometown. Although friends and relatives are breathing a sigh of relief, we also miss her terribly. As her family notes in the published obituary, due to regulations, her ashes will be scattered at sea off Bodega Bay, where the family camped on many happy occasions. Anna's obituary didn't mention her former husband, but she and Dennis Smoggy had two daughters, Beth and Glenda, whom she did mention. She loved her family very much. During an open time of joys and sorrows here in church, she would often speak with gratitude about Beth and Glenda, as well as her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. She was proud and grateful. Also, for the past few decades, she shared her membership in this congregation with her son-in-law, Peter. She also didn't mention her longtime companion, Jim Feeney, who passed away in 1997, the same year that her former husband, Dennis, passed away. Anna was a member of this congregation for nearly 60 years. In the 1970s, she served 5 years as director of religious education, but most of her activities over the decades have been those of a dedicated volunteer. She organized events, led volunteers in annual pledge drives, served on the board of trustees, and helped to start the committee to choose artists for quarterly exhibits on the walls of this room. Anna was 30 when she arrived at UUSS and still married and a mother of young children. She got involved right away in our Women's Alliance, which met in the daytime. Anna was one of the women that I interviewed in 2014 for an academic paper I wrote on the history of our alliance, which dates back to 1911 in our church. Anna told me, "I got involved in the alliance as soon as I got here in 1962. She said that her husband preferred solitary pursuits, quote, fishing or hunting or drinking. And I had to have an outlet for my energy. She reduced her time in church activities when she needed to seek full-time employment as a newly single woman. But in retirement, she revved up her involvement in volunteer projects heavily again. She told me about organizing a textile art show for the Alliance's spring luncheon. That was in 2002. She called it one of the highest points in my life. And you heard about it in her self-written obituary. The show included church members' handmade rugs, basketry, a wedding dress, and other things. And the quilts, she exclaimed. Oh, the quilts. So she told me that in 2014, and when I saw her in her care facility this past fall, she spoke with joy about her involvement here in general, but especially about the textile art show that she organized 2 decades ago. In this congregation, we remember Anna as a presence who was strong and opinionated, upfront and brave, committed and generous, and full of laughter and smiles. And her smile was gorgeous. To be sure, some people were intimidated by her assertiveness. I was one of those people. At business meetings, she could bring up challenging questions about board actions or the financial condition of the church. So she wasn't always easy, but when we look at her long years of loyalty and generosity, we can see that her assertiveness came from a place of commitment to this congregation and to its values. In her obituary as a writing class assignment, Anna had given herself as cause of death injuries from an automobile accident. Fortunately, she lived nearly 12 more years from the date of her writing assignments. In recent years, she lived and received good care at River's Edge nearby. She sustained a number of injuries more recently from falling that no doubt added to her decline, but she recovered several times. When I saw her in person last fall and commented on her many injuries, she says, "I have become quite accomplished at falling." We visited as she was eating applesauce, which she loved. She spoke with appreciation of her friends and family and all the staff who cared for her. She seemed to be at peace with her life and honest about the nearness of its end. She was quieter, but when she spoke, her eyes were still twinkling. In her final days, in the rare moments when she wasn't sleeping, Anna felt the love of her daughters as they sang to her. She died at peace on January 28 of this year. Now I invite you to join me in the spirit of reflection as I offer a prayer of gratitude and intention. And you may wish to relax your eyes, whether open or closed, and notice your body in your seat. Notice your breathing in and out, deeply in and out. Notice your neighbor's breathing, our common breath, the breath of life. O Spirit of life and of love, We give thanks for the gift of life and for the blessing of these moments together as we share comfort and care with one another. We acknowledge our sadness at this loss. Even more, we acknowledge our gratitude for the blessing of having shared life with Anna Mae Andrews. We give thanks for her life of creativity, service, generosity, and love. We appreciate Anna's dedication to her family, this congregation, the larger community, and the well-being of the whole human family. We are grateful for her gifts of humor, honesty, enthusiasm, and commitment. As we reflect on her passing and on our shared mortality, help us to count our blessings every day we are given to live. Help us to give thanks for every good gift. May our gratitude motivate us to fill our days with generosity and with kindness. So may it be. Amen. And now let us take some time together in silence for our own reflections and quiet meditation, to be followed by a musical selection.
Okay. So, singing was very important to Mom. It's not just that she liked to sing, and she did sing all the time. She thought it was important for everyone to sing every day. Over the last few years, she had many healthcare providers and caregivers, and I think she taught every single one of them her favorite little ditty, the Chiquita Banana song. We have a video of Mom and Glenda singing the Chiquita Banana song, and we're going to show it to you now so that you know how it goes. You can learn it, and the lyrics are on the back of the order of service, and then we thought it would be fun for all of us to sing it together in her honor.
We'll watch it first and sing it.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to watch the video first, then you get the hang of it.
Chiquita banana, I have come to say, bananas have to ripen in a certain way. When they are flecked with brown and have a golden hue, bananas are so good and are so good for you. You can put them in a salad, you can put them in a pie. Any way you want to eat them, it's impossible to beat them. But bananas were raised in the tropical equator, so never, never put bananas in the refrigerator. No, 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 no.
Okay, got it?
On the back of your
lyrics are on the back of your so all right, ready? Here we go.
I'm Chiquita Banana, and I come to say bananas have to ripen in a certain way, and they are flecked with brown and have a golden hue. Bananas are so good and are so good for you. You can put them in a salad, you can put them in a pie. Any way you want to eat them, it's impossible to beat them. But bananas like the climate of the very, very tropical equator. So you should never put bananas in the refrigerator. No, 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 no.
Now is an opportunity for those of you who are here to share your brief words of appreciation, your brief anecdotes from life with Anna. And if you're in the room, I will walk around with the microphone and ask you to introduce yourself and speak into the microphone so you can be heard here and on Zoom. And if you're on Zoom and you type your appreciations in the chat, then Reverend Lucy and I will intersperse appreciations from the room and from the chat. And the briefer each recollection is, the more people will be able to share.
When I first came to the UUSS in 1995, the people were not getting along too well, I won't go into that. But Anna greeted me and welcomed me with such emotional fondness that I'll always thank her for that. She was just lovely. She was always lovely to people. She was a delight. And I thought, though I found out differently today, that Anna and I were the biggest atheists in the community. But I've been since told by her daughter Glenda that she had weakened. And Pete Martineau said, she wasn't the only ones. Anyway, I did love Anna, and I miss her, and I thank her for pulling me in and trusting this congregation.
Joy Fisher is sharing that Anna was devoted to UUSS and brought me into it, she says. Joy Fisher.
Hi, in the 1970s, Anna was the RE director, and at that time the denomination had developed a curriculum, sex education for youth. Parents were required to review the material before the kids took the class. And after the review, Anna asked us for feedback, and I had said, wow, there should be something like that for adults. Some months later, she approached me saying she had recruited a woman from Sac State to do exactly that, but needed a male co-teacher, and I was to do that. Anna had it could be pretty persuasive.
This is Carol Jacobs. I didn't meet Anna till the 90s. And she was, on Memorial Day, we had quite a renowned jazz festival in Sacramento. And she called and she said, I understand you and your sister have an extra cottage that's private and you're close to town, and I knew you would want to serve some of the UUs from out of town. So we hosted a lovely couple from Oregon for 2 days, and then she called again on Saturday, and she said, I'm going to have everybody after the parade to my house for potluck, and so you'll want to bring them and some food. And we did, and we sat down and had lunch from UUs all over the world, even Europe, that day.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Mary Pipes. My dear, sweet Aunt Anna May was a loving and giving aunt and a wonderful role model. She was mesmerizing and magical and, of course, hilarious. She was loving to all.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Ernest. Anna Andrews joined us on a number of trips in Europe, southern France, Spain. She said, can you add Portugal? Okay. And so a favorite story in France. So we're in the Paris metro, and I always try diligently to observe the local customs and traditions. And so one of the things in the metro is you're quiet, minimal eye contact, low, not too much body moving around and stuff. This didn't sit too well with Anna. So we were sitting towards the end of a car where two seats are facing each other. Seats for three are facing each other across the narrow aisle. So Anna's sitting next to me. This one's empty. Fellow across and two women over there. And she's looking around, getting impatient. She looks across to the guy across and says, "Do you speak English?" "A little." "I'm Anna May. What's your name?" He said, "Michelle." "Hi, Michelle. Do you know that lady?" He looks at her. "No. What's your name?" My name is Sophie. Sophie, meet Michelle." Okay, so then the other woman in the corner, she's kind of looking away, but Anna brings her into it. "What's your name?" Danielle. "Danielle, meet Sophie and Michelle." "And I'm Anna May." "Okay, good." Then she sees this fella has a guitar case. She says, "Oh, you play guitar?" "A little." "Well, can you play for us?" And by that time, our whole little end of the car has gotten into it. "Yeah, play. Okay, he unzips his guitar case, takes out the guitar, and starts strumming, singing a little bit, starts to sing. And the people in the rest of the train, our metro, they're looking back at us like, "Ooh, they're having fun back there." So anyway, it's time for us to get off. So Anna and I get up and wave, "Au revoir, au revoir." And as she goes out, she looks at me like, "That's how it's done."
Oh, that's a great story. Well, I have a comment here from Kate Jones Hazeldine. She says, "Anna is our adopted son Ben's biological great-grandmother. When Ben joined our family, Anna did too, and remained so over the last decade or more. She has been a loving grandmother to me and great-grandmother to all of our children, not just the one that was hers by blood. Our family is what it is because of her, and Ben reminds me that, even before his adoption, she was his pen pal for years. We love and miss her. We call her Great-Grandma Anna."
Hi, I'm Patty Taylor, and I just want to say that Anna was the inspiration and was with us when we started the art shows. And you see a show now that I especially picked out to be here because it's spring.
This is from Lynn Trott. "My Aunt Anna May was always so exuberant and engaged with life. When I visited with my daughter in 2014, she took us all over town and made the most amazing meals, including blueberry soup."
Anna May was part of the My Story group, which was one of her groups that was nonprofit that she worked with us. And she worked hard at being an editor and trying to work on the movies that people had. And she got to be so that she was really good at it. And we appreciated her a lot. She was always joyful when she came to the meetings and we had a lot of fun with her.
Hi, I'm Pete Martineau. So about the turn of the century, Bud Lemke and I volunteered to chair the pledge drive. And we got together soon after and said, gee, we really don't know much about this. And so how can we do this right? And maybe we need help. And I think at the same time we both said, how about Anna May? So we called Anna May, and she said, of course I will. Right, I've done it a lot, and I'm very happy to join you guys, and the three of us will do the pledge drive. And We did, and it was a good drive. She was so positive all the time, always sincerely interested in you when she saw you. And my wife is not a Unitarian, but she's met my wife, and she always asks about my wife. So what a woman, what a positive friend to have. I loved her a lot.
I was kind of new here, and Anna was part of a group that we started of women, and what we had in common was we were all newly single. And it was, of course, the feminist movement was just really kicking in, and that influenced our gatherings. So for 20 years, we gathered once a year. First of all, we met in each other's homes once a week, and then once a month, and then eventually we went different places over the coast a lot and gathered. And so it included some other people you'll know, Joan Osborne and Paula Bryant and Ruby Long and so forth, Sandy Wasserman. And it was just an important shared experience. And Anna was definitely part of that. So.
I knew Anna mostly through the Humanist Association, which was known as HAGS around here, Humanist Association of the Greater Sacramento Area. And I was back when she and Jim Feeney were both members of that group. And I had the pleasure of going and being Anna's roommate at an American Humanist Association meeting, and I learned all kinds of secrets that you would just never have imagined. But Anna was full of secrets, and she was more than when you're a roommate and it's 8 or it's late at night. You got to hear quite a lot. And the other is I highly endorse Anna's garage sale. She's been all over the place, and in my house, I have things that I really didn't need, but Anna somehow got me to buy them.
This is from Yu Feng. Anna encouraged me to finish my memories when we were in the same writers group. I'm glad that Joy and I were able to finish them and visited her while she was still alive. And then from Christine Webb Curtis. Anna invited me to an evening around the pool just shortly after my parents moved to Sacramento, and I still lived in the Bay Area. It was a wonderful introduction to the warmth of the U.S. family. She was the real deal, warm, funny, energetic, kind, and dependably frank.
Hello, I'm Anna Mae Anders' grandson, Alex. Not really sure what to say. Just that she was a good woman, and her life was long. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Nikki, and this is my mom, Arlene. I was raised in this church from when I was a little girl, and got married here. And all the functions that we would come to, Anna would always know who I was, and always made a point to come by and say hi. And she was a very beautiful, positive, generous, and outgoing person. So.
This is from Ray Alt. On a visit with Aunt Anna Mae during a Realtors Conference in San Francisco in 1989, I believe, I made the mistake of asking her, "So Anna Mae, what's on the agenda?" To which she replied, "We are going to the mud bath." My wife Carol said, "I don't think so." Anna Mae said, "We are going to the mud bath." They went to the mud bath.
Well, that seems like a fitting concluding encapsulation of her personality. But I know there are more stories out there, and there's lots of food out there, so I hope that you will, if you're in the room, that you will stay and join us for the reception. And if you're on Zoom, if you keep writing things, Dirk, our technical manager, will print it out and provide that to the family so that they will have everybody's memories that have been posted in the chat.
Let's all take a deep breath together. I invite you now to join me in the spirit of blessing and letting go as I offer these words of prayer. O Spirit of life, O Spirit of love everlasting, touch us all with comfort and grace, now and in the days to come. We give our thanks for this time together and for the affection, gratitude, and grief which will continue to hold us together in spirit. May the days to come bring us a greater understanding of ourselves, of one another, and of life itself. We give thanks for Anna Andrews' amazing life and for having shared this life with her. As we let her go, we hold on to the loving memories that endure to enrich our days. Remembering her gifts of generosity and care, joy and enthusiasm, encouragement, love, and determination, we lift our hearts in gratitude for all the ways that she touched our lives and all the ways that she blessed our world. Now, in these moments, here together in this gathered group, we say farewell to Anna. We let her go into the arms of eternity, where the living and the dead of all ages join in one human family. We entrust her spirit to the spirit of love, which will never let us go. We entrust her to the source of love, which sustains us, holds us, and connects us, all of us, forever. So may it be. Blessed be, and amen.
As we prepare to move into the rest of this day and the rest of our lives, let us resolve again to bring the best of ourselves into the living of our lives, to bless one another and to bring peace and kindness and compassion into this world. And as we go, may the radiance of memory, the blessing of community, and the warmth of love be ours now and in the days to come. Amen, and blessed be. Our postlude will be a song that was selected by the family to reflect Anna's spirit of optimism and joy. Our postlude will be one that we will sing all together, since Anna said that we should do that. So I'll ask the family to come up here, and do you have it? Yeah. Song is "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning." It's from Oklahoma. If you don't have it memorized like me, it's on the back of your order of service. We invite you to rise.
The corn is as high as the elephant's eye. And start over. To the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way.
Martha like music. The breeze is so busy it don't miss a tree. And an old weeping willow is laughing at me. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Everything's going my way. Thank you very much.
Look what you did, Anna. The joy she brought, even after death. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course, your energy is so wonderful here. I love it, the energy of appreciation, celebration of life. We can be sad, but we can with joy, right?
Exactly. And it's so nice to hear everybody's story.